All right, hello everyone. Welcome once again to the program Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges. This is TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and I am the aforementioned Oberon, or also known on the live stream as Mr. O and in other of our media. And I'm here to do my weekly collective reading for the elemental signs of the zodiac, where I kind of scope out your emotional, relationship, romantic possibilities or things going on for this week. And that week is, of course, Friday, November 25th. And it's going till next week, and I believe that's the second, I believe. No, it's the first, actually. Thursday, December 1st. Okay, so I got that straight. Today I'm going to use the Uncommon Tarot for my uncommon reading, perhaps. I've gone back to the basics recently, so I pull 3 cards within a certain set of parameters for the elemental signs, and then I pull an additional card for each sign of the zodiac to kind of give us that word of the week, that focus or keyword, whatever. So first I'm going to do the emotional aspects for the elemental signs, and that's going with the idea of the air signs being first, air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So here we go. Okay, so air signs. As I mentioned, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What emotional happiness will you find this week? And so that's card 1, and it's the Ace of Swords upright. And the Ace of Swords, for this kind of question, what emotional happiness will you find this week, may actually say that the thing that you are happy most about this week is maybe an ongoing or new undertaking of an association. There may be relationship aspects to it, but it's more of an undertaking, I think. Maybe you're sort of seizing the day in a situation that gives you a certain amount of control over people. But I don't even think that. It just could be something you're really involved in that maybe you actually really love a lot too, in a certain respect. It brings you great happiness to bring this project forward, to try to, bring it to fruition. So what is your emotional challenge or surprise that you could face in all of this then? And that goes to our next card, which is, how interesting, it's the Ace of Cups. But as an ace, it's reversed. Let's throw that over there a little bit. And so that's a little bit different because it is reversed, and so that may mar the idea that what the challenge is. The surprise could be that maybe somehow this might be juxtaposed literally against the first card, which is, the love of an undertaking, and might find that maybe you are putting off, some maybe certain romantic aspect by doing that, or you're delaying a romantic aspect to some degree. So I don't know, that doesn't look really peachy keen in a sense. I got to tighten up my camera view here a minute, so give me a moment. All right. So it's kind of interesting. I have to ponder this maybe for a moment more while I'm going through the next card, because it does seem like maybe there are 2 different challenges going on for the air signs, and one sort of works against the other one, or brings a set of parameters into focus that maybe make you slow down or delay somehow the momentum of that one. So it could be saying, like, there's this idea that you might have to sacrifice a part of your emotional life to do something better in your professional life. And, that's not the exact kind of reading I'm looking for here, but the idea is that it is involving emotions in a way, because your job is something you really like too in this instance. So the third card then is what will concern uh, those around us who are either romantic relationships with us or family relationships with us, platonic friends, co-workers, any other kinds of situations. And another curious card, it's the Five of Wands, and it's upright. And it seems like maybe there's a lot of competition kind of aspects going on here for us in our other concerns here that people maybe are jousting about, are either competing for our attention or competing for other things from us or with us or in competitions with us. And it may be that some of this rolls over, like maybe these aren't direct to our nature, like maybe you have friends that are in some sort of competition, but where you get involved is when they call you to arbitrate or to make a judgment call for them or something like that. And then that kind of puts you in a weird spot emotionally with these people, whether they were friends or family members or coworkers or things like that. So you may want to watch around you for some of the challenges that are going on with other people that could involve you. And I wonder if maybe this spills a little bit into the rest of the reading to try to tie it together, but it could be saying that these opposing challenges of something that's more vocational perhaps or undertaking versus something that's more of an emotional relationship feel, maybe does spill over into the idea that there's a competition here and that if you let one thing go, you may give that thing up towards your competitor. So just as a very loose thought there. But now I'm going to rush or move on to the word of the week for the air signs. And I use a different deck, the Egyptoclos Care. I hope I'm saying that right. I probably am not. Sorry if I'm not. Okay, so what is the word of the week for our Gemini friends? And it's purification. And purification could be talking about the idea that maybe with our Gemini friends, especially maybe in respect to these opposing viewpoint situations that are causing oppositional stuff or competitory stuff with people around us, maybe the idea is that we really have to try to purify ourselves in some respect to this. And that sort of means like maybe trying to remove ourselves from being overly involved, or that after the sense of that involvement that maybe we do have to undergo something that kind of neutralizes some sense of our energy or our field because we've been pulled into this kind of situation of competition on the side there. So then for the Libra amongst us, we have the laborer. And I think as a word of the week, the laborer is saying that really there's a lot to be undertaken in terms of your relationships. Maybe it's in terms of this balance that's going on between projects or relationship kind of thing. But it could just be saying too that you'll have to apply some work to your actual emotional or social relationships of some sort, that maybe there's a process going on that really says work is done. And it is the holiday season, so maybe you have to take a little extra care to show somebody that there is a little bit of extra care coming from you to them. So then finally moving on to the air sign Aquarius, and it's pilgrimage. Voila. So pilgrimage for an Aquarian, it could be saying really that from some sort of deep dive, mystical, looking into yourself kind of point of view, Aquarians, maybe regardless of that situation there or not, they have to really kind of go into themselves a little bit this week too, in terms of that or other things, and maybe work a little bit more on things that are more about their soul. And this could pertain to relationships just in terms of how you look at your relationships. Are they more physical relationships? Do they have spiritual components? A lot of this depends on a lot of different factors. So it is a deep dive in a way, and it could be a pilgrimage to take this on, Aquarius. So that's what I have for the air signs. And now we'll move on to the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And so once again, I'm using the Uncommon Tarot. It's a little bit different. It has more diversity in a non-specific, special themed tarot deck than I've seen in a while, if ever. So for example, you know, like there's a lot of, you know, new decks that are gay themed in various ways or trans themed in various ways. This one has that, but not uniformly. So it may be that you'll encounter a card where maybe the presence of a couple in the card is actually a same-sex card, but not all cards will be that way. They may point out some other kind of diversity or something that is uncommon. All right, so as I said, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So what emotional happiness will the fire signs feel this week? And maybe it's time to take a long rest. Fire signs, just going to say that right there, that the idea of a rest could be appealing in a way, based on the idea, I suppose, that it's been really busy during the holidays. Let's just call it that way at all, if we have to. And I think it is a time maybe that fire signs may feel what will bring them happiness really is sort of having an opportunity to heal and to rest. There's a sense of recuperation here, as if one has been working very hard. And I know from the Aries in my life that could probably be pretty true. So it could be true for fire signs in general. It has been maybe an emotional time too. And so what makes you happy is getting away from a lot of busy emotional work that's been going on, whether it's, you know, making somebody happy in your life or attending to all the emotional needs of all the people around you, as if that were ever possible. So card 2, what emotional challenges or surprises might you face, especially in regards to that first card there? And it is the Page of Coins. And the Page of Coins is a pretty cool card for here. Page of Coins could be saying that perhaps a challenge comes to you, a message of some sort. It may be telling you that there's a deeper dive than the first card even indicates. The first card could be saying it's time to rest, take a vacation, stay at home, see a doctor if you have to. You have to figure out some healing kind of stuff. But the second card may be inviting you on that true deeper dive that I talked about. Because sometimes the Page of Coins will have a definite mystical sense about it, as if there is an inquiry into the mystical order of things. And so when I look at the serenity on this particular card, the Page of Coins, and I see it as the emotional challenge, this is saying really, are you ready? Are you willing? Are you secure enough to maybe dive a little bit deeper into what's going on in your emotional life, fire signs, to either understand how you care or what you can do with what you care? And then finally, what will concern those around you, fire signs? What will concern the romantic, platonic, coworker, family, neighborhood, whatever it is, friends or people you know that you care a thing about? What will affect them this week? And it's the reversed Three of Coins. And I would have to say that the reversed Three of Coins says that maybe some of the people around you right now are a little bit mopey because maybe something didn't work out exactly right. And there's a sense of a disfavor going on here, like maybe somebody was expecting to be praised or to win a prize or to be noticed in some way because of an accomplishment. And it would have to pertain to the emotional aspects of this. So it could be that maybe somebody thought they were in fact getting closer to somebody because of working on a team or working together in some capacity or getting to know them in some capacity. But now they find that may not be true, that maybe, you know, either they delude themselves or something happened or it was not meant to be, and this may be concerning them. And it could apply to people that are not necessarily in your range of romantic relationships. It could apply to your friends or your family or somebody else like that. The feeling of being unloved or uncared for or misunderstood even is probably bothering somebody around you. And it may be that, of course, you're the one who they feel misunderstands them. So you may need to work on that. You may need to see if somebody has those kind of feelings or is acting like they do, and what you could possibly do to kind of open a dialogue or reach out to them and see, you know, if you could help. So now we're going to do the word of the week for the fire signs, the mentioned Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And I'm going to use, once again, the Galapagos here for that. And it's a wonderful deck. It's actually 78 cards, but they're all just contiguously numbered 1 through 78. So there are no suits. After the major arcana of 1 through 22, it just goes 23 to 78. And there are different words that express a quality or a state of being. And I use this as my keyword or word of the week. So Aries, you are up. And your word of the week or your thought is the unexpected. The unexpected, well, I would have to say that this shows us a chance that for Aries, something unusual may happen in this next week or so, or an unusual thought or conclusion about your romance or close emotional situation will pop up, something unexpected. Maybe somebody will declare their love to you that you didn't expect, or will just declare their extreme admiration of you, something emotional, something good for the most part is my feeling here. Okay, so then we want to do Leo, and Leo has revelation. And of course, it's almost like the unexpected, but revelation is maybe that understanding of something unusual, uncommon, unexpected that happens. And maybe this is really in the sense of the realm of emotions. So maybe this could be saying that what is the revelation is, you know, the idea that you are in love with somebody, Leo, or that somebody is in love with you that you hadn't realized. And I think it's good because maybe you're both in love with each other and you find each other, or it's something very similar to that. It's a revelation about emotional matters. So closing out the fire signs with Sagittarius. And wow, I guess this is kind of good for all the fire signs. This is, despite the first deck and first set of cards, this latter set seems to be doing okay because now we have the Lovers, and the Lovers, I think, is saying that Sagittarians, you hit the jackpot. There's something really fortunate that may happen to you. Maybe it's unexpected, maybe it's a revelation, but it is about love. And I think that it could also be saying too, in a way, that it's about your choice of love, that maybe you've been wrestling with the idea of how to be in love or how to approach your love or whatever, and now it has finally happened for you. Maybe it was unexpected, but it's now a revelation. You know, maybe those qualities of the fire signs have come through. You have made a decision, and like the Cupid type figure, the Egyptian Cupid type figure, your arrow is about to fly, and you are choosing the best choice. Fire signs, you go. So now we're going to move on to the water signs. Okay, and water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What emotional happiness will you find this week? And it's card 3 reversed, the Empress. This may be a week that you water signs are really going to have to really work on yourselves a lot. And a lot of that is like a healing sense here. I think it's really about saying, this is my week of self-care, or some part of my week has to be devoted to self-care issues. I think maybe water signs have been burning the candle at both ends, as is commonly said, and you need to focus on yourself, your own number one. But what challenge might you face in all of this? And it's Seven of Cups upright. And Seven of Cups, well, it's kind of nice to have here. I think the challenge is mostly not wasting your time, emotionally speaking, on maybe things that look promising but really aren't, things that are not really fulfilling you emotionally. It may be this is a time there are choices you can make emotionally, whether it's about people or situations. You know, the choice of colleges, for example, that someone close to me maybe is going to be thinking about soon. I think there's a lot to think about, and it's very important you make the right choice. This is definitely a challenge here because there's a lot of things drawing you to them, and I want you to remember what I said about card one. Self-care has to come at this time, and maybe has to come first. So I'm just going to throw that out there again. But what will concern those around you, the romantic relationships you're in already, or your family, your parents, your boss, if you're the boss, your subordinates, your church, your synagogue, your platonic friends, the people that aren't family but visit you on Thanksgiving. You know who I'm talking about. All right. What concerns them? Well, I'll tell you, it's the wanderer, which is the fool, but it's reversed. And the wanderer reversed could be indicating that some of these people, some of these relationships around you, they may be ready to jump off the deep end. They may feel they're being pulled towards things, and they want to just go ahead and taste that. But they have to really be careful about the choices they're making. It's also you, so I'm wondering if it's connected to you, because you're making choices in card two, or you're considering that you have to make the right choice. I have a feeling there's a connection here, and I think that if somehow these are mutual choices, you also have a duty to make sure that your right choice is not their bad choice, or that you are making the choices together and you're coming to some sort of consensus. I trust the water signs on that, but I really have that strong feeling there for them. So I'm going to do the word of the week for the water signs now. Dear water signs, you are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Give us some good words of the week. Cancer, preeminence. Cancer, don't let it go to your head, but I think that this is the week that maybe it's really good for you, because I think you're kind of in charge here. I think that when it comes to all these decisions, and knowing that maybe somebody else needs you to make a right decision too, to help their decision, you're probably going to be okay, but you really have to make sure you work from your heart and you don't hold it over them, that, you're wiser, or you're better, or you're more knowledgeable. That doesn't sound like a Cancer. So I just think maybe this is saying the decision you make, Cancer, is probably really the preeminent one, the one that will work the best for everybody. And, there's always a sense of responsibility if you are the person that governs. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so then Scorpio. I need more room for my Scorps. Scorpio has innovation. And in terms of relationships, emotional, um, who we love or how we love or what we're doing here, innovation, maybe saying Scorpios really, they have to do the out of the box thinking. You know, he's sort of in a box that's sort of defined by the pillars there. And then there's that Anpu or whoever that is above him. Scorpios, you do need to think out of the box when it comes to your emotional likes and dislikes and things like that. You may find yourself in a bit of a quandary, but you can innovate and work around it. And then Pisces. Pisces has delusion. Okay, I don't mean that personally, Pisces. It did show up. So Pisces, it could be that when it comes to the choices, if it's about that's going on, you may have to deal with a set of delusion that's going on too. I don't feel it's necessarily yours. I feel it's sort of in that psychic environment that maybe you're dealing with somebody who needs you to help them with this decision. That was in that first set of cards. You may have to really also deal with maybe both of your own ideas about the nature of this relationship and to not be deluded that the relationship is any more or any less than whatever it is. And that's what I have for the water signs. So now we will go on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And we are once again shuffling the uncommon tarot as it flops around in my hands, but hey, it didn't fall to the floor. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday. Be grateful. Okay, earth signs. What is the emotional happiness that you may find this week? And the reversed Page of Swords. Well, you know, it's always challenging when you're supposed to make a nice card that isn't so nice back into something nice. Page of Swords is normally a nice card, but it's reversed, and it's talking about your happiness this week. And I think it could be saying a couple of things, but it might be saying that you have to be open to the idea that there are some things you need to learn, and they're not like skills so much as maybe manners. Like maybe you have to understand a little bit what is triggering a few people emotionally around you, that maybe not all your relationships are peachy keen, that maybe somebody's very sensitive to what you say or do. I'm wondering if maybe they feel slightly outclassed, and so maybe they want you to, you know, bring it in a little bit and not be as formal. Why will this make you happy? It may represent the idea that an ice is being broken between you and somebody who you have felt you needed to be better friends with. Maybe the short answer would be maybe those you feel you haven't exactly been friends with, but you think you could be. Maybe some of that ice is starting to thaw. Okay, what are the emotional challenges or surprises that you face? And it's the Five of Cups, which can be challenging. And the Five of Cups could be saying that what challenges us is realizing that we have to keep going on in our emotional lives, that sometimes things do change abruptly and people fall away from us, but there's always something there. You got to hold on to it and believe it, even if it's only your belief in yourself that you're not so horrible that you make people go away, that there's always going to be somebody who maybe understands you a little bit. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. I don't think people who are totally alone and feel nothing can ever change in their lives to have relationships or good feelings are my typical kind of, patrons here. So if you're here and you're suffering a dry spell with relationships or feeling loved or wanted, it is just a dry spell. The challenge really is understanding that things will return to normal and that maybe there is something that you're just not realizing in all of this. Now, what concerns the others in your life? Their relationships, family or romantic or otherwise. What is bothering them? What's bugging them? It's the world reversed. Major Arcana 21. The world reversed. Maybe people around you feel there should be something more. They should have succeeded already. Something should be done. They don't understand why it isn't, or it bothers them that they did not achieve what they thought they could achieve. And this would especially be true in relationships. Maybe there are some broken hearts out there in your family or amongst those you know, or maybe there are some confused people who really felt that the relationship they had should have been working out, but somehow it ended abruptly, or it's on its last legs, or any number of things that have challenged people to feel, what's wrong? Why is my life not perfect? Why are things not happening? Be kind and considerate and help them. Okay, so now the word of the week. And you can tell I have had a little bit of turkey hangover. I'm a little tired today. The word of the week from the Eclipticos Care Tarot, and that word of the week is for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you're watching it first thing in the morning, you may be running out to Black Friday sales. Be careful and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Well, I wouldn't go to Black Friday shopping sales, but you get the point. And Taurus, you seem to face uncertainty this week. And when you look at the figures, they seem to be in opposition to some degree, but also not in opposition in a bad way, just maybe there's a concerned way. You may feel, Tauruses, that big parts of what I've talked about, the fall from grace or the sense of being alone, the sense of others not finding their perfection, these things give you a sense of uncertainty in your emotional relationships with them. And you may find that you mostly just need to listen. When things are uncertain, think about that eye over there, the eye of Ra, or whatever it is, the eye of Osiris. It needs to learn more, so you can do that. Be open to that idea. Virgo. Virgo just needs strength. Virgo's key word is strength. This card says that when it comes to emotional matters this week, it is a matter of restraining either yourself or themselves from each other. Either you are holding things as they are, or you're holding things from going too far. All those possibilities there, you need strength. And remember, the strongest power is really the power of understanding and compassion. And I think a lot of this reading did reflect on that in a way. So now the final card for Capricorn. Hostility. As a key word, that's not a good thing to say. But I think Capricorns, the key word here is to watch for yourself being hostile. To watch how you apply your energies, to remember that there is strength in trying to understand things from a non-aggressive position. And I can't really address that anymore. You know, I wish it was a better word, but it isn't. At any rate, you'll join me next week, won't you, for another week of Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges. In the meantime, don't forget to watch The Material Matters Sunday morning at 10 a.m., a pre-recorded video, but we are live in the chat room. And then our live chat will be here Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. as usual. There's no happy hour this week because we're going to a live event at one of our favorite places, the Arts and Craft Metaphysical Emporium, a metaphysical store. They're having a psychic and wellness fair tomorrow, Saturday, from 12 to 5. That's in Hartford, Michigan, which is not very far from Chicago, Illinois, but also only a couple hours or so, 2.5 from Detroit area. So if you've ever wanted to meet Oberon and Banshee, this is your chance. Until then, see you next week. Bye-bye.